The contents of this game are rated M for mature. Viewer discretion is advised. Corpse Party Blood Drive is a survival horror game by Team Gris Gris and is the final game in the Corpse Party franchise series that takes place in the Heavenly Host Elementary. The game takes place right after Corpse Party Book of Shadows, which takes place after the original Corpse Party game. In order to completely understand the situation, you'll need to play its predecessors before you can play this game. Note that playing Corpse Party, the Anthology, Senchiko's Game of Love, Hysteric Birthday to You is not 100% necessary as it's mostly non-canon. To summarize Blood Drive without spoiling too much, Ayumi Shinozaki is overcome with grief due to the events of Book of Shadows, believing that everything that happened is entirely her fault, on top of losing the Book of Shadows itself after the game's events. She receives a mysterious tip saying that not only is Heavenly Host Elementary back, the Book of Shadows is there as well. That's not all, she's also told she can right her wrongs, or potentially make the same mistake twice depending on how you look at it. If she uses the Book of Shadows inside Heavenly Host and ventures in the Heavenly Host alone, saying her friends shouldn't be involved in this. The inside of the elementary school we know and love is mostly the same. Everything is broken and run down. There are buckets filled with mysterious liquids and sinks filled with vomit everywhere from its previous victims, but now rendered in 3D. What makes this one even more special is that the wonderful variant is housing organs and mounds of flesh on the walls and floors for various reasons. Keep in mind, however, that these aren't just for show. They can be used as traps to slow you down by ensnaring you in tentacles that are housed within. Slow you down from what reason, you may ask? Well, it wouldn't be a horror game without something to hide from. And in this school, it has phantoms. These phantoms will chase you until the ends of the earth. No matter how much you try to outrun them, they'll just chase you. Even if you leave the room and go into the next one, they'll follow you in there. The only way to get away from them is to hide in one of the few closets found in the school. Of course, if they see you, they'll drag you out of it, causing massive damage to your health. These phantoms are beatable using talisman items you can find, so all is not lost if you can't escape one. Even though these talismans are collectible, they're sort of scarce, so be careful all the same. Keep in mind that this game actually has 2 health bars, one for your physical health, for when you step on glass, get hit by phantoms, fall through floorboards, etc, etc, and one for your mental health, your darkness meter. The only way this goes up is by examining the school, especially the dead bodies lying around. While your HP bar is clearly visible on the menu screen, the only way to measure your darkness meter is to look at the literal shade of their skin in the main menu as a measurement. The darker the skin, the more you're succumbing to the darkness of the school. If for some reason you can't tell how much HP you have left, or can't tell how close you are to succumbing to the darkness, the screen will have a bloody outline when you have low HP, or the screen will have a static tint to it when a darkness level is high. You can recover your HP by finding bandages or by saving the game at a lit candle. Unfortunately, saving yourself from darkness is not as easy, as there is usually only one statue that can cure you only one time, so use it only when you need to. This is honestly one of the worst optimized games I've ever encountered on my Vita. I can understand the loading between rooms and maybe use a menu, however, the loading times throughout the game are absolutely atrocious and will eat away at your patience as it can be relatively long, and they're constant since you're going from room to room all the time. Sadly, it doesn't just stop at annoying loading times either. The frame rate itself is just terrible by all means of the word. Normally I'm not one to care or even bring up frame rate either. However, there are times where the game locks up for a moment to load up a soundbite of a fly buzzing around. Sometimes it'll even lock up to the fact you just died. There is a small way around this, and that's to play the game without using the flashlight, but that only helps the frame rate just a little bit. What's even worse though is the game is a buggy mess. When playing this, I had never encountered an error message where one is forced to go out of the game and back to the Vita's home screen. However, I got something much worse. I got an error message I've never seen before. My whole screen went black, and I got a message saying an error had occurred. Then my Vita shut down, meaning I had to turn on my Vita, go back into the game again, and hope it didn't happen again. Keep in mind, I was at the very last segment of the game when this happened, which makes it very frustrating. On the bright side of it all, this is Corpse Party, and in Corpse Party fashion, the voice acting and the sound design is just top notch. Between the blood-curdling screams, the sounds of bones being crushed, someone being beaten, there is just nothing more disgusting, in a good way mind you, than this. Especially something in a chibi art style and its excellent use of binaural 3D audio. Believe me when I say that you'll want to play this with headphones or surround sound. All in all, this is a good game. Sadly, it's not as horrifying as the other games as it keeps jumping from Heavenly Host to the real world. However, things were happening on both sides of the spectrum, so it works out in its own way. The new characters certainly brought out a different feel, which made the whole thing feel pretty refreshing, despite treading on old ground. If it wasn't for all the technical stuff, the only real problem with this game is the fact that the story at times feels forced, and it didn't really feel as it was progressing naturally. Otherwise, it's a satisfying end to an equally satisfying line of games. Alright, and that's it. We really do hope you enjoyed our review of Corpse Party Blood Drive. Be sure to leave a comment down in the comment section below letting us know what you guys thought of the review, if you guys are going to be picking up this game or if you already have, and be sure to check out our website for the full and detailed written review.